Hello everybody, welcome to our review of One Piece chapter 1025, and apparently a big one too. So let's get right into it, wasting no time. Got Usopp on the cover page, and I guess he's spreading some lies or telling his story with his adventures, which I feel like by the end of the series, whatever he tells to the next generation, it's probably not going to be lies, it's going to turn out to be true pretty much. I'm wondering if Usopp's going to be doing anything before the end of Wano. Probably not, because right now most of the Straw Hats, with the exception of Zoro and Sanji, are exhausted. So, and we also got a colour spread to complete the Trinity with the colours similar to the colour spread that we got with Chapter 1K, with the two halves of the Straw Hats on to make the whole in 1000. Here it's the same principle with three colour spreads. This is the third. I find it interesting. Last colour spread we got Goldie Roger. The colour spread before that we got the Yonko, Big Mom and Kaido, and in this one, if you notice in the background, is the Yonko Blackbeard, and I guess technically Whitebeard too, since he's also in this colour spread. You also got Shirahoshi Marco. Most of the Whitebeard pirates, you got Izo, you got Garp there, and you got, if you notice, you got Kobe also there. You got other members of the worst generation. So I actually, because we got Hawkins, we got Capone, we got Scratch Manapoo, you got Aokiji there, so that's pretty cool. You got Rob Lucci tangling it up with Marco, which would be a pretty interesting clash, I'll admit. You also got Carrot there, you got Ace, you got Smoker, Boogie, and Tashigi, and you got Sabo also. So you got the brothers. Yeah, I just find it interesting that Law's the only one. Unless I'm missing something, I can't see Law. But let's get into this chapter, and it pretty much focuses around two things. Obviously, Yamato going up against Kaido, which I didn't think it would do in the previous chapter, and also Luffy versus Momonosuke trying to get up the top of the skull, which I also didn't think Oda would do, which I think is actually important on the part of Oda's behalf, because it shows even though he looks like an adult, he's still technically a child, which Shinobu brought this up. Like, even though he looked like an adult and there was some kind of mystique, there was some kind of intrigue about what his base mode looks like because of him becoming an adult. He probably looks like Odin or resembles Odin, which is why Shinobu was in tears. But keep in mind, he's also got the heart of an 8-year-old still. So no matter how old he is, he's still going to be acting the same. So that's prevalent in this chapter, which I think is important, because one of my biggest fears is like Oda. I think Oda's going to have Momonosuke tie into the final attack that takes down Kaido. People would go off the rails about that if that was the case, just given the way that Momonosuke can't control his powers at all. I love how the Heart Pirates and Shinobu are acting so calm and confident, but everybody else is just panicking on the inside. So we go to the top of the skull with Kaido and Yamato clashing, and I have to say, Yamato props, because she's got the defense armor on. I'm guessing that's the defense armor for minimizing some of Kaido's attacks, even though it's been demolished at this point. So Yamato jumps right in the air and then darts down on Kaido with a Himuro Giri and just smashes Kaido in the ground. And Kaido's like, well, it's like you're trying to defy me because you actually believe you're from Wano. Either way, Kaido comes back with an attack. Yamato blocks it. And before Yamato retaliates, Kaido's like, but everyone knows you're my son. You can't escape the truth of your blood. It doesn't matter what you do. The samurai will never consider you one of them. Which is already a complete lie, because by the end of this chapter, Luffy has already accepted Yamato. Yamato's like, shut up, what's that got to do with anything? Smashes Kaido in the face. It doesn't hardly do anything. It just triggers panels of flashbacks, because Kaido's like, you are alone, and Yamato's like, I'm not. I have friends. Thinking about Ace, the samurai we saw in the previous chapter with Ushimaru, Shimatsugi. We still don't know, but we found out he got executed, and Yamato sees this. So Yamato gets flung into the ground, and then Kaido just immediately, you see Kaido come down with a mace. Obviously it cuts, but the implication is Yamato got smashed while she was down, and it sent her out of the hybrid form. We actually see Momonosuke having trouble controlling his ability to fly. He's on the inside, not the outside, which Luffy's like, no, we want to get to the roof, but Momonosuke does it the hard way. This just bolts in front of everyone. Everybody's confused about the situation, with the exception of a couple. Okay, Sanji's like, no way. Zoro notices Luffy and is like, Sancho. And what I like about this is it actually stops everything that's going on right now. I'm kind of glad this happened now and not a couple of chapters ago when Raven was fighting Black Mario. I'm just going to throw that out there. But everything else pretty much stops. You see Marco and Izo. Marco looks like he's got a grin on his face. Izo's like, what the hell? Luffy just looks like pissed by the whole situation because Momonosuke is just crashing through each floor. He's crashing through walls. He crashes through the second floor, which goes right past Big Mom, clashing with Law and Kid. So whatever happened there, he got put on the brakes thanks to Luffy and Momonosuke. So I'm guessing we're going to find out we're going to find the conclusion to that once the fight between Luffy and Kaido officially begins with round 3. So Law's like Mugiwara. So Law knows what's up. He's been around Luffy long enough and the Straw Hats long enough to know what's up. So Big Mom looks puzzled by this. Kid looks confused as all hell, which is amazing considering the fact he's also taking punishment through Hawkins' ability facing up against Killer. And then we go to the top of the skull. Everything's been demolished. Kind of like similar to what we had with the Scabbards when Kaido demolished them. What's amazing about this is in the background you see, and that's also hilarious at the same time, Yamato getting ready to stare off against Kaido for the final time. And you got Momonosuke in the background just puzzled about where to go. And then just notices Kaido's on the ground. He just goes smash. Luffy goes to the Gear 4 Snake Man, and he's like, Gomo, Gomo, no. And at the same time, Yamato comes charging in base mode, by the way, not in hybrid form. At the same time, they both land attacks. Yamato comes up with an attack. Luffy comes up with a jet covering cannon, and then just smashes Kaido in the face. And Luffy and Yamato, and for the first time ever, Luffy acknowledges Yamato, which I thought this moment would come. I just thought Momonosuke was going to be the one to tell Luffy, okay, here's what's been going down. Luffy knows that Yamato's been holding up Kaido at bay. That was the whole goal of Yamato. It wasn't to defeat Kaido, it was to keep Kaido at bay until Luffy and Momonosuke got back. So Luffy's like, you were keeping Kaido busy for us. Thanks a bunch, we owe you big time. It looks like Luffy is about to attack again. Kaido avoids it and then transforms into a dragon again. And then just avoids that and just... I love Luffy's pose, by the way, as the chapter comes to a close. But you have Momonosuke staring down Kaido, and the difference is it's night and day because Momonosuke looks terrified still. And Kaido's like, who is this dragon? And this calls back to like, what is your name? And I guess Momonosuke once again musters up the courage to say his name. Now, one of the scenarios we thought would happened in this chapter, like a team attack with Luffy and Yamato. I don't know what role Yamato's going to have in this fight. Luffy may say this could be 1v1, which would be a horrible mistake. Unless Luffy unleashes Gear 5th. Like, I don't see this being 1v1. Otherwise, why would you have Yamato there at all? Still not KO'd. I wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. It would have added more to the tension, though, I will admit, if Yamato was KO'd. But I will say, despite that, the fact is, Yamato withstood that attack and was still standing. And Yamato still came in with a White Snake Rush attack, which I think is pretty cool for a name, I'm not going to lie. At the same time that Luffy's using Snake Man, so I just thought that's so ironic. It just plants the seeds. If there is going to be another member of the Straw Hats join, it probably most likely is going to be Yamato. I hate to upset Carrot fans at this point, but I just feel like there's way more focus and there's way more development through Yamato that we've got with Carrot in this entire arc. I'm sorry, like it's night and day. Unless Carrot does something to take down Perospero in Sulong form. But right now, it goes right to Yamato. If there is going to be a new member of the crew joining after Wano, besides Jinbei, it's probably going to be Yamato at this point. There's like little hints like, okay, Yamato's using techniques from snakes. Luffy's using a snake mode. And Luffy acknowledges Yamato in this chapter. I said this in the comments in the last review. This is a pretty big week for Yamato. Started off with the weekend, last weekend, ties into this weekend because Yamato probably got introduced, KO's ulti in the anime, or I said technically takes down ulti in the anime, and we're going to have the back and forth between Yamato and Luffy, where a whole lot's going to be revealed about Ace, so that's going to be fun. In the same time, you got this chapter with Yamato and Luffy in the same chapter, taking it to Kaido. So here we are. Shout out to Yamato for Yamato's durability against Kaido. It was never about winning, it was keeping Kaido at bay. Yamato kept Kaido at bay long enough for Luffy to get back in the game. Now, the question is, what happens here? what happens next, and the way that Kaido, through his dialogue to Yamato, it just screams a Kaido flashback. This dialogue is going through what Kaido experienced before he came to Wano. Everyone that shows you compassion ends up dead. It's something that relates to Kaido and the Rocks pirates with Rocksteady Sebek. So we have to learn more about the God Valley incident through Kaido's flashback, which I'm hoping we get soon. I know I said this in my last review. That's probably the only thing that's going to extend this arc to another act. Kaido's flashback. That has to be fully fleshed out. If you're going to justify Kaido being taken down or killed by the end of Wano, because Big Mom had a flashback and she's still around. I do find it funny that while Momonosuke's causing havoc because he can't control his abilities, he can't control where he's flying. Kaido thinks it's Big Mom causing a rampage, and he's like, "Oh, that damn hag." Anyway, this chapter was great. Great for Luffy, great for Yamato, great for Luffy Yamato interaction. Whether or not this leads to Yamato possibly join the Straw Hats, I do not know. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's going to do it for the guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did, hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.